start to take a couple of huge breath cycles. Let it flow in. Let it flow out. Each breath helping our body to relax. Our body calm. Our body present. So as we're coming into this very comfortable state, we start to connect with our intention for our class today. The intention is grounding. Oftentimes this first part of the year can be a little bit chaotic, especially when we approach our goals like horses stampeding forward. Sometimes that energy is really intense, and that's why we kind of sometimes lose momentum after a couple of weeks or months with our goals. And so instead of losing that momentum, instead of kind of falling into the chaos, today we're grounding down. So we'll do several things that get us good into the hips, good into some grounded positions like various variations on tree pose, things like that that help us to really connect down. And by grounding, we're helping our body, we're lengthening our body, and we're allowing our whole system energetically to just ground instead of rising up into the chaos. So that's the intention that will be in our mind as we start off in our class today. So with that, let's take a couple of nice initial stretches for our body. So start off by extending the arms all the way to the back wall. Let the shoulders wiggle to the right. Shoulders wiggle to the left. Just take it a couple of times back and forth. Let's give it a couple more times. Shoulders wiggle right and left. Beautiful. Returning the spine back into the center. Take your right knee into the chest. Have your hands clasp around right knee. From that clasp, maybe you're focusing on the foot for a moment, grounding some of the energy down into the foot, so maybe some ankle rolls. And then extending this right leg up to sky, grab on the back side of the leg wherever you can comfortably reach. Feel that nice extension upward. First, focus on that hamstring. Good, and then before we switch sides, we're gonna take a little hip opener. So you're hooking right heel to back left into the fabric. The end that's kind of past your ears. So it's like a pigeon pose. You're swiveling that foot in. If you're confused, peek at others. You got some people at the front that are a little bit more experienced. You can always peek at them. Good, so right hip. Breathe energy into that stretch. Take another huge inhale. Exhale. Let's free out this right leg. Maybe a last stretch up to sky, and then we can drop that foot all the way down. Good. So second side, left knee into chest. Maybe some ankle rolls for that left foot. And that feels pretty good. Start to extend the leg up to sky. Grab on, help to reach it up. Another huge inhale. Exhale, hip opener for this side. So hook left heel to back right side. Slide the shin in. That gets us right into the hip. Feel that energy in the legs and the hips. It's like a waterfall. The energy kind of trickles down the spine, out the legs. One more breath flows in and out. Good work. Start to free out this leg. Maybe a last tug up to sky and drop it down. Good. As we release, let's start to kick the feet free off the front. Our hands can grab onto fabric, helping us to sit up. We're gonna head to our first inversion here. So bring the hands behind the fabric, thumb slide down. This helps to push the fabric down to about where the pant line is behind us. So from here, you lean about halfway back and then hands back on. Good. Last step, wide legs means that we won't pull out, and then ankles wrap around. Good. Once you got the ankle wrap, you're welcome to release hands and just hang. Hanging is a huge reason why people come to aerial. So just give yourself a couple of easy breaths. And know that if your head is not used to inverting, you don't do this very often, you don't have to stay here super long. Not a competition with anybody. It's listening to your body, trying to relax as much as you can with the arms. Relax through the spine. Only coming up when you know it's time, no rush. Love this because it's like a different relationship with gravity for our aspect of grounding today. So here, by flipping upside down, we're actually grounding by just relaxing. Never feel bad about coming out before others. You're just listening to your body. If you're out, you're welcome to take little neck stretches and shoulder stretches, kind of let the head roll left and right. Those that are upside down, I'll give you a little bit longer. You got it, just like that. You'll hook your elbows, let the shoulders slide forward. If you're still upside down, give it another breath or two. Then we'll start to head out. This nice restorative pose here is called floating child, hooking elbows, leaning forward. Easy on the neck, head goes left and right. Huge inhale. Nice exhale. As we start to sit back up, take the arms onto the inside. We're going to take our right leg in. Maybe some of us can clasp hands around that right foot. Others of us might be reaching more like around the ankle area. Whatever we're reaching for, we're trying to find a way to extend that right leg up to sky. So try to extend up high, bringing that thigh as close as you can to belly. Let's do 3 good pulses, imagining that at the end of each pulse, we're trying to get the leg just a little bit higher than it is, like a game of millimeters. So let the knee bend, re-straighten, trying to go just a little bit higher. 3, another bend, re-straightening higher, 2, one more bend, re-straighten, pull it in. Anchor the left hand on that right foot wherever you can grab. Right hand circles to sky and reaches to that back wall in a nice twist. Feel the spine and the shoulders, the back start to open. Another good inhale. Exhale, return shoulder forward, lift leg up even higher one more time. Good, release the knee, release the leg, it's back down. Doing the same thing for left side. So maybe grab around foot, maybe around calf. Start to feel that first angle extending up. Good. We'll take our 3 pulses, trying to get just a little higher each time. So 3, and more extension. 2, maybe even more, even a millimeter. Good, last one, highest yet. Extension clear up. Good. This time, anchor right hand on this leg, left hand circles up to sky, reaches into that twist behind you. Good. Return the arm, lift leg up even higher if you can. Huge inhale. And exhale, let's release. Beautiful, even deeper spinal twist. Let's bunch up fabric to front door side. From this twist, your shoulder that's closer to the painted mountain wall, that arm opens up, that brings you into a spinal twist. You could also take that hand and circle it behind the head, rubbing onto the fabric that's behind. Now this one lets the spine itself go even a little deeper. Maybe there's some of that energy that's been more chaotic the last couple of weeks. So try to imagine the waterfall energy trickling down, trying to ground us into that calm pool at the bottom of the waterfall. One more huge inhale. Good exhale. Release this half. Bunch up fabric to second side. The shoulder that's open closer to the painted wall, that's the one that extends or circles around. You'll notice you can use arm strength as much as feels good, but listen to your spine to know that perfect level. Another good inhale. Exhale. Good. Release back forward. Before we come out of the fabric, we're going to take a vampire pose. So this is another inversion. Those that are super familiar with vampire, just go right into it. Those that want a review or it's your first time, watch me first, and then I'll review the steps again as you get into it. So I take the fabric over my shoulders. Vampire is essentially a shoulder stand. So it's fabric over my shoulders. It's a complete cap sleeve, so that way I am safe, but it's not a ton of extra fabric because that pushes into my neck. So my elbows get all the excess, bring it down to my waist, and then I lean back. From here, I need to take that excess fabric from my waist down to my feet. So I step feet in, lift the hips up, and then straighten the legs out to slide all that excess down. So I've got enough here to completely cover shoulders, but not enough to kind of push into my neck. So last steps, hands grip up high left and right. I pike the feet up, pushed into the fabric right above where my hands are, and then by pushing into fabric, I'm able to lift into vampire. Okay, so start getting the fabric up on your shoulders. Not a bunch excess, and I'll be around those that want me to peek at you for safety first, but enough to cover your shoulders, not a bunch extra for the neck. And then you use your elbows to take all the excess down to your waist. Yep, you'll shift it with your feet from waist down to the legs. So you scoot your feet in, lift the hips up, straighten the legs out. Oh, I don't know. Okay, once you've got that excess down, Grip up high, left and right. Feet come up. They're placed right above where the hands are, so not wrapping. They're on the inside. Push into the fabric right above where your hands are. That push lifts you up. If you're confused, just kind of struggle and I'll get you there in just a moment.
A little different. Yeah, you can't get the fabric on my feet. When you do it, just like, so rather than wrap, you can go push. Oh, you use our do like put your toes in the wrap. Yep, there you go. Got it. Oh, sorry.
You're welcome. This one quickly becomes people's favorites because that grounding quality into the shoulders. We don't often get a body shoulder massage by our weight going into the shoulders. So that's why this one's a favorite for many. Just like before, you don't have to stay as long as anybody else, but as long as it's still feeling good, I'll give you time to just enjoy it. Good. Imagine whatever stressors have been around, maybe social stressors, maybe job stressors or other things. Imagine some of that's just kind of being shooken right out of us like a salt shaker by us being upside down. You guys are doing awesome. Good. Looks like we've got the majority starting to head out. So if you're still upside down, again, take those last couple of breaths. And then a mini Shavasana. With the Shavasana, you're just kind of trying to listen to the head, listen to the body, make sure that your blood pressure has had time to flip back to the upright orientation. So when you feel like everything is comfortable, you're ready to move on, you'll help me know by sitting up. But you don't have to rush yourself there if your body still needs a little bit more time. Good. Okay. Still no rush if you need a couple more breaths. For those of us that are sitting up, let's start to work our way out. We don't come out by just diving the shoulders forward. Since the toes don't touch the ground, we could trip ourselves. Instead, the hands wrap, grab, and then that's just an easy, safe lift right up and out. Awesome. So this next one, we're gonna try to stick together so that way we don't like bump everybody. But we start off with fabric coming right under shoulder blades. We walk back to take all the slack out. And then the feet, the goal is to end them up under plumb line. So that's more or less halfway up the mat. If you can see the shadow line back here, that's about where the feet go. So about halfway up the mat, I like to bring the feet nice and wide. So I'll show you one first. This looks like a hula hoop. We're going to front door side first. So I circle my hips all the way around and back. We're gonna do 5 to the front door and then pause before we reset our circle direction. So again, try to stick together so that way you're not bumping each other like crazy the whole time. So we're preparing to go to front door. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, front door side. 5, and around. 4, 3, 2, good work. Pause at the back. Okay, we're gonna switch directions to backdoor side in 3, 2, 1. Here is 5. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Pause. So the legs and the knees and the hips just super soft after that. So here we're gonna play with some tree pose stuff, leaning backwards. So the first thing I want us to do is spread the surface area out a little bit more. So we're trying to kind of cover more or less where the ribs are up to the armpits. So spreading it out just a little bit more and then lean right back where you were. From there, we're gonna turn onto our side ribs so that we're facing front door side. So your bottom foot is going to be the one that stays the whole time. So you'll have to play with exactly where on the mat that bottom foot needs to be so you don't rock like crazy. There's like one spot that it'll feel balanced. Keep on adjusting until that bottom foot is there. The top foot, the one that you could kick up to the sky, that one's gonna form a tree pose. So it can be a calf, it can be a thigh. You choose. Once you've got it in a tree pose, start to extend the arms. If you're close to wall because you're tall, you can always bend elbows and grab your elbows instead. Notice how there's a difference between hips kind of lifting up and then you're arching back versus hips down and you're kind of arching up. So let's take maybe 2 or 3 times just playing with those 2 ranges of motion that you have, kind of arching like a rainbow down, and then dropping the hip a little bit, lifting up. Good, maybe one more. Good. Try to come to that neutral, strong spot right in the middle. And from that spot, your top hand is going to grab maybe around the top thigh, maybe around the big toe of that top foot, and try to extend that top leg up. Good. So thigh is fine. If you're grabbing thigh, try to extend to that. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then drop that foot down. Both feet are stacked like a nice side plank. Arms can again reach out or grab elbows. Top leg is going to try to lift up and down. We're going to go for 5. And down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now top leg bends, planting the foot in front of the other. You can kind of peek at me if you're confused. From here, leave that foot in place. Twist the torso back forward where we were. And then the torso continues to spiral around a little bit to the back door. So it's like twisting from the hips to the spine. Got it. Good. Beautiful. Unwind torso. Plant both feet back to the wide position on the mat. Let's take another circle to front door, pause, and then circle to back door just to reset our hips. So front door side, 3, 2, 1, go. And pause at the back. Circle to back door side. And go. Good. Okay, so make sure you're still spread out over your ribs. Readjust to second side. We're facing back door. Arms can be straight. Arms can be grabbing elbows. Take 2 or 3 cycles to kind of play with the 2 extremes. So dropping the elbows down as much as you can. Hips try to arch up. And then the reverse, hips down a little bit. Maybe one more like that. Try to play with both extremes. Good, and then try to find the strong spot right in the middle. Top foot comes up into tree. Maybe foot is calf, maybe it's up to thigh. Try not to be directly on knee. The knee doesn't need any more pressure than it gets all the time. Good, feel the groundedness of this pose. Even though we're swaying a little bit, maybe it's like a tree in the breeze, we still feel very steady. We have that connection to earth. Good. Let's try to extend that leg as a branch out from our tree. So top hand tries to grab maybe thigh, maybe big toe. Feel that extension the best that you can up. It's okay if it's not the same as anybody else. Good. Beautiful. And lower legs to be like the side plank. Gonna do the 5 leg lifts. So when you're ready, top leg kicks up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lastly, the twist, front the foot in front of the other. It's the bent shape. The torso and hips kind of return forward. And then as the legs stay, we're spiraling more and more toward the front lower side. So that nice spinal squeeze. Another huge inhale. Exhale. Good. Unwind. Let's do one more circle each side. So spread the feet back out. We're gonna go to front door circle. Let's go 3 this time. Those are fun. So in 3, 2, 1, go. And 3, 2, feel the feet loosen up. 1, pause at the back. Okay, back door. 3, 2, 1. Here is 3. And 2, 1. Good. Pause at the back. Beautiful. Walk your feet backwards until you're standing up on your own. By the way, this leaning back is going to be the restorative pose after our next inversion. So whenever you're ready to come out, that's the pose you're going to get into. So our inversion here is called straddle back. Walk back up under plumb line. This easy grip we have when we kind of just naturally grab around fabric, that's the grip we have as we slide hands down, keeping the fabric right about the sacrum. So before it was about pant line, this is another inch or so lower than that. So keep it, the hands active to push it in that spot. 1 foot steps back. From there, we bend the knees to start leaning into the fabric. The slack is taken out. We want to come back under plumb line. So that's 3 baby steps under plumb line. Core still really tight. All at once, hands up, knees wide. Feet wrap around, similar to before. As soon as your toes are wrapped, you're safe to let go and just hang. Good. If anybody wants a spot, I can help. But if you just need a review, you're pushing. You've got 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Lean into it backwards. Good. Tiptoe forward, engage your core. Yep. And then hands up, knees wide. That's it. Wrap your feet. Do you want a spot or do you don't have a play? Just keep on playing. You're good. This one isn't light. That's okay. That's okay. Just play with the trust of the core, if nothing else. So it doesn't have to actually take the lift, but play with trusting your core a little bit by kind of just like, okay, I'm here. I'm using my core. Just play with that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just keep playing. You're good. Remember, whenever you're out, you can just lean back like we were a moment ago. Gives our head time to flip back to this orientation. Those that are hanging, don't feel rushed. what I'm kind of watching for is about when the majority of class comes out. So that's the point that we wrap up, not necessarily a time amount. It all depends on the class. Okay, so those that are still upside down, give it a couple more breaths if you'd like, or if you're ready to start heading out, let your body lean back for some time. One of my favorite things to do here is take my hands behind my head, I bend my right knee, and I lean my elbows to the right. Huge side body stretch. And then you can straighten that side and switch. Good. So similar to the other recovery poses we've done after inversions, we're really trying to just make sure that we're not dizzy, we don't have head fullness, we're feeling good, we're recovered. So it might be a little bit more time just leaning back here, that's okay. When you reach that point where you're like, oh, I think I'm good, I think I'm ready to move on, that's when we start walking ourselves backwards to stand up on our own. So no rush if others are out and you're not ready yet. When you're out, go ahead and take fabric out in front of you. Okay, looks like we're good. Grab onto fabric about as wide as shoulders or slightly wider. Just take an easy bend forward of the hips. Feel how this gets us a little bit more into those hamstrings. We haven't done that much effort there yet. Let your hips wag like a dog's tail left and right. Maybe return back through the center. See if the low back can drop either a little bit straighter, so kind of trying to pull forward, or even drop belly down just a hair. Slight arch to spine. Nice inhale. Exhale. Soft bend to the knees. Roll the spine up. Beautiful. Okay, so this next sequence, we've already done one type of tree pose. The next sequence, we'll add a couple more types, and just each time feel whatever is trying to ground downward. Let's start off with the arch of the right foot into fabric. Okay, teeny bit of arm strengthening. You can always skip this part if you're like, I'm good today. Let's 3 times try to stand up into the fabric and go back down. So grip up nice and high. Inhale, prep. Exhale, we're going up. 3. And softly down. Try to use some arm strength to go down. 2. Arm strength helps to lower more than anything else. Good. 1. Good. This time stay standing. Come up. The left leg wraps around the fabric from behind. Good. Once you've got the left leg wrapped around that pole, then left elbow and left shoulder try to go forward. Good. If you're standing foot still doing okay, take hands to heart. If this is intense, which it's possible, this is a deep massage, you can always come out early. But if you can, try to close your eyes, ground into the nice massage we're getting on our foot. 2 more breaths. 1 more. Good. Right hand grabs on for safety. Left hand grabs on as soon as it can as it's coming behind again. Once you're there, step left foot to floor. Extend this right leg forward just enough to do kind of some toe circles, loosening up that tightness in the foot. Good. From here, before we move on, taking a little pigeon pose, swivel the right knee out to the side, out to right. You can do pigeon in one of two ways. So the back bend way is gripping hands up, sink forward, and then you're in a little bit of a back bend. The more sleeping pigeon way is head through, fabric on each shoulder, and then sink forward. So it's up to you how much you're doing. Also, if your knee is having any issues, take the hips back just a little bit. Good. Nice inhale. Exhale, take weight over standing leg, torso rises up. Slide the hands up high, extend this leg back forward. And then you can sink any amount forward into splits. Think of the flexibility that we're working on in the hamstrings being a chance to improve circulation. By improving circulation of the leg, we're able to ground the leg. Able to kind of sweep away all the tight things that have been present there. Nice inhale. Exhale. Weight comes back over standing leg. We're sinking the foot all the way through. Fabric is at the thigh. Flat hands high, thumbs hug around. Sinking our weight back forward. This one lets us get much deeper into the psoas of that left hip, sorry. The hips relax. Fingers can wrap around a little bit if you're doing more of the back bend, gazing up. You could also do that easier version, head through. Slide hands to shoulders. Good. One more inhale. Exhale. We're taking it into a warrior two. So bunch both hands onto left side. Turn your standing toes to left. Sink your bent knee closer to mirror. Maybe that front arm reaches forward. It's more of the tricep on the fabric than the shoulder. So we're not trying to lean the upper body forward, we're trying to stack the spine directly up. And then maybe back arm reaches back. Beautiful. Let's inhale. Exhale. Hands return onto the fabric in front of us. Weight comes over standing leg. This is coming to our next tree pose. That right foot just comes directly into calf, or maybe you slip it up to thigh. With this anchor around the thigh, it actually helps balance quite a bit. So see if maybe one hand can come to heart, maybe both. If balance is still easy because you have the support, maybe try imagining you're taking a snapshot of the room. And then close the eyes, try to hold that snapshot. See if balance is possible by grounding down. Good. So as we open eyes, what your hands are going to do is try to spread out the fabric that's in front of you, trying to find more or less the middle point. So when you've got the middle, continue to step through. Try to keep it spread open. Spread it to the back and then sit such that you're kind of just right there in the middle into a wide straddle position. Spread the fabric down to your thighs. Sometimes the twist happens, so take as much time as you need. And it's kind of a funky transition. Good. You got it. Spread it out and then all the way down to thighs. So feel comfortable as soon as you can get it to thighs. You got it. It's okay if it's taking a little longer. Those that get there, what we're going to do is Straighten each leg into fabric, so open out nice and wide. The heels are in, the legs are in. Nice and open, hands pressing the legs wide. So this will just be a brief time in it this time. Next time we'll take a few extra stretches before the end, just because we have to do everything on second side as well. But notice that nice relief for our feet that have been helping us stand. And what I'd like us to do here is take a pigeon pose to the side that faces us to the mirror. So that leg that's closer to mirror, bend the knee, the heel swivels in. Our upper body starts to face to the mirror. Each hand grabs each part of the fabric at the ends. You grip high on the ends. That grip helps us to lift the hips up off the fabric, swivel the back leg behind you, and that's our pigeon pose. So if you stay inside, that's king pigeon. If you free out your shoulder that's over the toes and slide down, that's sleeping pigeon. Good. That hip have a nice chance to open. Easy breathing. Imagine that kind of waterfall energy. Just letting yourself move through the potential energy, through the kinetic energy, and back down into the restfulness at the bottom of the waterfall, that beautiful lake. One more huge breath in, out. Good. So since we're going directly out, what we're gonna do, the foot that's behind you, take that leg all the way out. Even start working it to your thigh until you can stand on it. And try to step your way gracefully out as much as you can. We'll end up standing behind fabric again when we're here. Good. So note to self, if I kind of keep it spread out rather than twisted, that'll help me later. So with it kind of like this, do slip the hands together to get it in this neat way of bunching it up. Step left, arch a foot directly into it. Good. Okay, so if you're doing 3 pull-ups, we're prepping for that. You can always skip the pull-up section, so that's okay. If you're doing the pull-ups, grip up high, inhale. Exhale, 3. And do that arm shake to go down, good. 2. Good, you can always skip 1. 1 more, up, down. Good. Okay, trying to go up 1 more time for tree. Look up high, stand up, wrap the right thigh around from behind. Good. Once you've got right thigh wrapped, right shoulder would be the safe one to go forward. Good. Hands at heart. Maybe the foot goes higher. If there's that tension in the foot, that's normal at the beginning. It gets better over time. We'll go 2 more calm breaths. Good. Left hand up for safety. Right hand grabs on as soon as it can. Safely lower back down. And give that left foot just a couple of easy circles to ease some of that tension. Good. This is kind of like the wake-up call for the hip. So swivel that left knee out. If you're going to go more for the back bend, hands grip high. If you're going more for the sleeping pigeon, hands low, head through. Either way, send the hips forward. Remember again, if knees are having any issues, hips go back more over the standing leg. That'll be less intense on the knee. Good. So weight back over standing leg. Straighten this leg back out. Hands grip high for safety. Don't have to go super intense, but take it into that splits or that stretch for hamstring, just the best that it feels on this side. Good, weight back over. Slip fabric down to this left knee. Again, this one will help with psoas. So if the grip is high, it'll be a little bit more of the back bend. If the grip is low, we can set the head through, but either way, we sink the hips forward like a warrior one. Okay, transitioning to warrior two, perhaps torso up first, grip on right side, turn right toes to the right, sink your weight forward. You can keep the grip the whole time. You can extend front arm forward, back arm back. Again, try to keep spine up. It's not leaning forward, it's not leaning backward. We're trying to stack. Have a good inhale. Exhale, grab on, weight over standing leg, tree pose. Maybe left foot goes to calf, maybe it goes to thigh. This is a moment to try to ground down into standing leg. So if you're still balancing without grip, hands can come to heart. If, because of the support, you feel steady enough to take a snapshot picture, close the eyes, try to hold the snapshot. Good. And opening eyes, this is that funky transition to try to come in. So whether it's the front or the back, try to get about half of it on each side. And then we try to sit right there in the middle. Spread the fabric down to thighs. I know it's funky either way. Feels like wedgie pose for a moment. And once you're sitting in the straddle, both heels come in, lengthen the legs out wide. Okay, so last pigeon pose. Again, this is going to be to mirror side. That mirror side leg, swivel the foot in, dive the arms out that mirror side. Grab onto the ends of the fabric there, left and right ends. Keep the knee inside the fabric, that'll help you out. There you go. With the grip, we're trying to lift our hips up so the back leg can swivel behind us. Once you're there, king pigeon stays in, or sleeping pigeon, shoulder free to lean forward. Beautiful efforts. Visualize that waterfall one more time, just trickling some of the energy out of the chaos of the head, down the spine, down the hips, down that back foot. Good. Huge inhale. Exhale. Rock your weight onto the front hip, or swiveling back open to wide straddle. And just to give the knees a little bit of movement after that pigeon, just bend the knees, slide the heels a little closer, re-straighten back out. Maybe the arms press the legs into the wide stretch. Good, let's do that 4 more. Bend in, straighten back out, arms help out. Another 3, and open. 2, and 1. Good. So this is about our Shavasana time. We have a Shavasana variation that we're already practically in. That would be just touch the bottoms of feet together, and we're in a cocoon shape. So I personally love this for this meditative seat at the end. If anybody prefers to lay down like we did at the beginning of class, you just swing your back leg forward to join, and you'll lay all the way flat. So either way, we're giving our body these last few minutes just to be a restful break. Imagine any chaos, whether that's chaos of the class, kind of our mind space, maybe chaos of our work environment, home environment, social environment. Imagine all that chaos with our breath. We're breathing calmness in. With the exhale, it's like the waterfall trickling down some of that energy into the grounded, calm pool at the bottom of the waterfall. So all it takes is good deep breaths in, long, slow exhales. We'll be here for several minutes, so just breathe and relax. We're going to take the next couple of minutes to slowly return. Oftentimes I start off with just my breath, take an extra deep inhale. Beautiful exhale of release. Here we'll start to introduce some movements to the body. So if you're wanting to stay seated a little longer, sometimes I'll move the legs back open in good ways or lean the spine left and right. Some people like to come back to laying down. So you'll swing the one leg all the way forward and then do some of those initial stretches we did, wiggling the spine left and right or getting into the legs for a moment, those types of things. We've got a minute or so. Just take any of these stretches that help your body. Kind of waking up, coming back to presence. No pressure, no rush. Good. So as we're coming to this point, full circle, you could stay here for our final Om, just in that beautiful cocoon shape. You could come up to a comfortable seated place. You could drop to floor. It's whatever feels good. But eventually start to bring yourself to a nice tall spine, easy seat, centered spot. And from here, when you get there, take hands to heart. You think of that quality of groundedness again. Grounding to help us with all the chaos life might throw at us. We can give it to Earth. And Earth helps to remind us that it's okay to take it at your own rate, to lengthen your stride just a little bit today, a little bit more tomorrow, and that's a way to approach our goals. So with all this type of grounding to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with a sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.